cautious approach that you're taking with both Nick and LaMarcus, and kind of an update on how they're feeling.
Yeah, they're both progressing well. You know, they're not going to play tonight, but they're, progressing and day to day, and we feel really positive about them returning soon.
It's an eventful last meeting with New Orleans. The thoughts on this matchup, and especially with Brandon Ingram in the lineup this time for them?
Yeah, I think they're obviously a different proposition with Brandon. Terrific score and kind of the head of the snake over there. So it's important for us to really try to contest all his looks, all his catches, take away his space, and at the same time, we got to really be diligent on the boards to make sure they don't get a ton of offensive rebounds in second.
Grade out what you've seen from him on the defense.
I think Kessler's done great. Natural defensive instincts. He seems to understand the game plan and has the resolve to stay with it, to chase, to have the discipline. Largely stays down on pump fakes, largely knows what route to take, and uses his length and athleticism at both ends of the floor to add to our team. So, he really knows his role. He's played his role for a young guy early in that kind of opportunity very, very well.
Steve, just to confirm, so you expect LaMarcus, Nick, and Joe to all travel with you guys on the upcoming road trip then?
LaMarcus and Nick for sure. I'm not sure about Joe. We'll see. If he does travel, it'd be just to continue his rehabilitation with the group, but I'm not sure.
And just as Kessler shooting surprised you, I remember you saying back in training camp how the defense was already and the shooting would maybe come a little bit more with time.
Yeah, we know that he shot the ball well in college. I think he was a 40% 3-point shooter. It feels like he's refined his mechanics. That's what my eye says. It had quite a pronounced kind of motion to it, and now he seems to have really streamlined the motion and taken a lot of that out. And most importantly, he looks confident. He steps in and shoots the ball when he's open and is eager to shoot it. And that's the way it's got to be if you want to make shots and you want to improve as a shooter.
Steve, what stood out most about Daeron and how he might fit into this group potentially, even when you are whole?
Well, he's got some natural gifts. He has a nose for the ball around the basket, on the boards. He's physical. He loves to throw his weight around underneath the basket, which is a positive for us. So that rebounding, physicality. He has great hands. He's a real knack for finishing around the basket as well. And I think for a young player, he's an excellent passer for a center. So a lot of skills that we can use, and a great piece for our team to develop.
I know you were dealing with this for the whole season at home, but now that you have Kyrie in road games and you got to see what's possible, like what we saw against Chicago, how do you handle the challenge of everybody still having the same level of conviction and engagement when he's not here in those games, knowing, I don't know, maybe there's a subtle feeling of like, well, this isn't our real group. We know what our real group is. It's when he's there. How do you kind of manage that and make sure the group still has the level of conviction in the games when you're not whole?
Well, my message would be it should be the opposite. You have an opportunity at home to play more, to have more responsibility, and to prove that we can win. When he's not available. So I think that's an approach we have to have. Like you said, we've only had him for a few games this year, so it shouldn't be that foreign to us. But more so than looking forward to when he is back, we have to take care of home and get better, grow a little bit more of a presence at home. Continue to improve. It's one of the things, we address and look at head on some of our weaknesses. And that's one of them is we haven't played great at home, haven't started games well. The offensive rebounding piece is a Achilles heel for us. And while we've improved in a lot of areas so far this season, despite a little setback here the last few weeks, that's one of those things that we got to continue to push for and try to get that winning record at home.
Steve, to follow up on that, now that this thing has started a week and a half or so with Kyrie, how much are you communicating with him on these days when he isn't here?
Not a lot, to be honest. I've got my hands full trying to communicate with the guys that are playing tonight and with my staff. So, I really don't get to communicate with them much because we're just so inundated with tasks on a game day with the game that night, with the players and coaching staff, performance, analytics, video. So it's not straightforward where, I get the chance to, give him a call every day.
As far as the video goes, he said he's watching the games. Is the staff sending him stuff to take a look at?
Yeah. I mean, he has access to all our stuff. So he has full resources and ability to stay locked in here. The number one thing for us right now with Kyrie, even ahead of that cohesion, is his adaptation physically. It's a different rhythm for him, not just having a long kind of off season, so to speak, until the last week and a half, but you can't replicate NBA games. And so it's a process that we have to also be aware of, that he's still adapting to the demands and also adapting to a different and new cadence, to play. What did he do? He played 1 week, played a week late.
Christian?
Hey, Coach. Do you I guess let your mind wander and try to think about what this offense looks like when Joe gets back?
I think we already know from last year how what the pressure we can put on people offensively. I really, to be honest with you, I'm focused on our defense, on our cohesion, our growth, our individual improvement and growth that we can do collectively as well. When that time comes, we'll worry about that. But right now we have so many things to focus on that I really don't look forward to that yet.
Steve, tomorrow marks a year since James's Nets debut. Feels like 5 years ago, but just given how much that shook everything up and how the full vision, trading for him, having the three guys only available, less than 20 games so far. I mean, how would you kind of look back to the last year, given how much you guys have weathered that, given all the attrition and not having the full vision?
Yeah. Well, it's been obviously an incredible coup for us to have James in our program. And, there was a lot of bad luck, so to speak, last year. Just the amount of games that we were able to play whole was, I think, I don't even know what it was by the end of the year, but a dozen or less. And that's, even if you include those games that James played on one leg. So a little disappointment in the fact that we never had a real crack at it with full health or even close to full health. Having said that, he's just brought so much to our team with his skill level and ability. And so it's, on the one hand, an opportunity lost last year due to injury. At the same time, we're still alive and building, and we've had a lot more thrown at us this year, but we're used to it. And I think these opportunities to overcome could afford you a lot in the end. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.